Namaste, 10th standard student. Today we will discuss your last lesson, that is 10th lesson, the pie and the tart. Here written by Hugh Chesterton, and here the lesson is about two beggars, how they tricked one while they went for begging. They saw a pie in the bakery and they tricked to get that, and somehow they deceived the bakery owner and they had the pie, and later they also planned to get the tart which was in the same bakery, and they trick again, and thereby were able to take the tart also. So their day was good. They were hungry before, and they filled their stomach with that pie and the tart. This is a comedy drama, a play. So I can't just discuss like this. I have to go on reading. It was better if I could know in the if it was in the classroom, I could make you to play this drama, but it is not possible. So therefore I go on reading, then I'll explain you one scene after another scene. I'll just explain you. So pre-reading activity is: do you enjoy listening to humorous anecdotes and situations? Recall any humorous situation or any humorous anecdote in pairs. Share it with your partner. Characters here, 4 characters are here. Pierre, Jean, they are vagabonds, that is, they are street beggars, and they don't have any kind of job. Gualiter, a pastry cook, and Marian, his wife. So one scene is given here, because this is a drama, and so you have to explain. In every drama you have to explain what is the scene. The scene is laid outside Gualiter's cake shop in Paris. So this is the scene from the Paris. The time is the middle of the 15th century. So not this time, this is the 15th century, that is almost 5 decades ago. The act could be played on the curtain stage with one door, back center. The only furniture is a bench. Right, Jean and Pierre are discovered, the former seated on the bench in an attitude of extreme dejection, the latter pacing up and down, blowing on his fingers. Both must indicate that they are cold and hungry. So on the stage, 2 persons, one bench is there, so one person is sitting and another is standing. So here Jean is sitting here. And he is very in a mood of dejection, and the other person, that is Pierre is roaming around, that is pacing up and down, moving up and down, blowing on his fingers, like blowing on his fingers. The expression should be such that they are cold and hungry. They are cold and hungry. Jean, regarding Pierre's restless pacing. So Jean starts talking now. Must you keep doing that? Pierre, it's this blasted cold. If I stop walking, I shall freeze. I am dying of hunger and cold. So what Jean asked him, don't do like this. You are roaming like this. And what the answer Pierre gives here, that because of the cold and hungry, that is why I am walking up and down, so that this cold can be removed. Not removed, it can be lessened by walking. Jean, so I am, but I prefer to die sitting down. So I prefer to die of hunger while I am sitting. Pierre, we make a pretty pair, you and I. Paris should be proud of us. Displaying his rags, there are 23 holes in this tunic. I know because I counted them this morning. So one of the Pierre says that we are good pairs, very good pair, because in the Paris, and showing his ragged tunic, he says that there is how many holes in that? There are 23 holes in his tunic. because he says because he had counted it. As he had no worker, he is counting the holes in his tunic. That's only reckoning the ones that let the wind through. No doubt there are others, but let that pass. So because of the holes in his tunic, the air is passing through, and that is why he is getting too cold. Jean, the holes in your tunic don't interest me. What I am concerned about is the hollow in my stomach. We must live, and without a meal. So what he is saying, Jean, so the holes in your tunic is the I have nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. What I am concerned is my stomach is empty. We have to live. So without food we cannot live. Our first concern should be how to get the meal. Pierre, that's what I said to Judge Gaston when I was pinched last month for begging. So Pierre says, this is what I said to the judge. He was pinched. Pinch means he was produced before the judge, and there he was fined for begging. He was begging. Pierre was begging on the streets. That is why he was fined for begging. Jean said what? Pierre. He asked me why I did it. And I said, well, your honor, I must leave. And he looked me up and down and said, I really don't see the necessity. So what he said, the judge asked why you were begging. Judge asked Pierre why you were begging. So Pierre says that I have to leave. For that purpose, I am begging. So what the reply judge gives, he looks him from top to bottom and says, there is no need, because he was a young person, fit and fine. So he doesn't see that to live he need to beg. What he meant was, you can earn, you can do your hard work so that your stomach can be filled with meals. Jean, I wagged that judge. Pierre, he didn't know what it was to be hungry. See here, my pretty, this can't go on. I am going to knock on every door in this street. And since charity begins at home, I shall begin right here, indicating the cake shop. You would better not be seen. Go into the next street and try your luck there. Jean begins to go, but Pierre calls him back. Wait a minute, brother. Let's hear what you can do. So now Pierre says, I'm so hungry that I'm going to knock every door on the street, and I'll start begging. And he says that I'll start from the bakery there over there. Charity begins from home, so I'll start from here only. I'll start begging from that bakery. Jean knocks on the bench and assumes a mendicant voice and attitude. Jean, for the love of Saint Agatha and all the blessed saints, have pity on a poor miserable who has had no food for 3 days. How is that? So Jean just trains him how you have to beg, how he has to beg, and how the other person has to beg by knocking the doors of the people there. He says, for the love of Saint Agatha and all the blessed saints, have pity on a poor miserable who has had no food for 3 days. He says, see, I have not eaten since 3 days. I am a poor miserable person, so just give some charity so that my stomach can be filled. Pierre, not bad, but make it 7 days and quaint slightly. It's a sure sign of starvation. So, what he said, Pierre, okay, good way of begging, but not just 3 days, you make it 7 days, that we are starving for 7 days, and also make your eyes little bit narrow and squinted, so that they can believe that you are really starving. So Jean exit from the scene. Pierre, knocking on the cake shop door, alms, good sir, for the love of God and all his blessed angels, take pity on a poor traveler who has had no food for a week. So what Pierre does? He goes to bakery and knocks the door. Alms. Alms is, in Kannada we say dana. Alms. Good sir, for the love of God, for the love of God and all his blessed angels. This is the way they are begging them. His blessed angels, take pity on a poor traveler who has had no food for weeks. Mr. Golitier comes to the door. This is the owner of the bakery, and he comes to the door. He is a man of about 50, well preserved and obviously content with his lot. So he is well preserved, he is well built. Looks like that his life is full of contentment. There is no requirement, no worry, no such thing like he had faced any difficulties. Gwalicha, go away. I have got nothing for you. My wife is away and I am busy. You would better go to the next street. So what he says, Gwalicha, when Pierre was begging in front of him, he says, Gwalicha says, you go away from here because my wife is not there. I too am very busy. You go to the next street. Jean. And he knocks the door. Jean. For the love of Saint Agenta, Saint Nicholas, Saint Crispin, and all the blessed company of heaven, have pity upon a poor miserable who has had no food for 7 days. So now the other scene is about Jean. Jean is also begging them. He is what he is saying, for the love of Saint Aganta, Saint Nicholas, Saint Crispin, and all the blessed company of heaven, have pity upon a poor miserable who has had no food for 7 days. So this is the way Jean is begging, knocking at the door. The door is opened by Marian. So he has gone to this other side of the street. Here Gwaliter's wife is there. So this is the house, and in front of front portion of the house is a bakery. So they have gone to the same location, but the doors are just different. The door is opened by Marian. She is younger than her husband, stoutish but comely. Marian, go away, beggar. My husband is out and I have nothing for you. You would better call again when he comes back. What Marian says, you go away from here. My husband is away from here. So you come some other day when he comes back. Marian shuts the door. Jean sits disconsolately on the bench. Presently, Gwalior comes out of the shop. He makes as if to go out, but remembers something and goes back towards the shop. Marian appears at the door. Mr. Gwalior, oh Marian, I'm just off to dine with Mayor. He keeps none too good a table. I am thinking that I would better take that eel pie with me, the big one that I made last Monday. Just get it for me. Hurry, I mustn't be late. So what happens here? Now Gwalior comes out of the door and he wants to go to his friend Mayor's house. So they have a dinner together. So while going, he doesn't want to go empty-handed. So Gwalior doesn't want to go to the Mayor's house empty-handed. That's why he wants to take the pie. No, sorry, this is a eel pie. Yeah, eel pie which he had prepared last Monday. So he wanted to take it along with him as a gift to Mayor. And he just tells his wife that can you get it? I will get late. Can you get the eel pie for me? Marian, very good husband. She goes back into the shop and Gwalior calls her back. Gwalior, wait, I can't very well be seen carrying an eel pie through the streets of Paris, can I? Not quite the thing for a man of my position. Do you think you could bring it along after me? What he says, it doesn't look nice in the Paris, on the Paris streets. I'm carrying a eel pie. So can you bring after I go? Quite impossible. I have too much to do to run errands. Why not send someone back for it? So Marian refuses to take the eel pie after him. She says she has lot of work to do, and she asks her husband to get someone else to carry this eel pie. Gwalit, a good idea, but who? Marian. Well, you will be bound to meet someone on the way. So just you may meet someone on the way. Just ask to carry this along with them. Gwalit, yes, but how will you know if he is the right one? Anyone might just come and say they had been sent. So what he says, that how will you recognize this person is sent by me only? So anyone can come and ask you the eel pie. So what we should do? How we can give the clue that this is the same person sent by me? Marian, I hadn't thought of it. Gwalit, I have it. I will tell the messenger when I found him to kiss your hand. That will be the sign that you will know that everything is all right. What he says, Gwalit, that okay, the signal would be whoever I'll send, he has to kiss your hand, and that will be the sign of taking the eel pie. Okay, Marian, laughing. Well, choose a good looking one. Madame Gualita's hand is not for everyone to kiss. So what she says, when you are sending someone a messenger to take the eel pie, but while you are sending, anyway they have to kiss my hand. Send some good looking person so that my hands are not for kiss for no one else can kiss my hands except the handsome ones. That was just jokingly she says this. Marian returns to the shop. Gwalit exists. So Marian returns to the shop and Gwalit goes away. Jean, who has overheard all the foregoing, sits pondering. Presently enter Pierre. So Jean was all listening everything what was going on there. So then only Pierre enters. Pierre, any luck? Jean, yes and no. Pierre, what does that mean? Jean, after a pause, look here. Are you ready to do exactly as I tell you and no questions asked? So Pierre comes and asks him, could you get anything? Could you get any money? He says yes and no. Jean said yes and no. Then what does it mean? He asks. Pierre asks, what does it mean? He says, are you ready to do whatever I ask you to do without any question? Pierre, I will do anything to keep my stomach quiet. So he is ready to keep his stomach quiet. Jean, very well. Now listen. I am going into the next street. Directly, I am gone. Go up to the door, knock on it and say. Now G is instructing Pierre what he has to do. He says, go up to the first door and knock on it. Pierre, thanks. I have been there once today already. I got what I expected. Mimicking Miss Gualita's pompous manner. Go away, beggar, go away. I am busy. Go into the next street. Ba, ba, ba. He spits. So, what he says, I have already gone to that place and Mr. Gwalit has refused to give him anything and he mimics. He pretends whatever he has said, he pretends, he mimics him and he spits on the floor. Jean, never mind about that. Listen, I say directly, I am gone. Go up to the door and knock on it. The lady will come to the door. So, what Jean says, not that one. You just now go to that place, knock on the door. One lady will come there. But how do you? Jean, don't interrupt. The lady will come to the door. When she does, so you will take her hand and kiss it. So when the lady comes to the door, to open the door, then you have to take her hand, you have to kiss her hand. Kiss the lady's hand. I think you are making a slight mistake, brother. I am not lovesick. I am starving. What Pierre says, kissing a lady's hand. See, I am not lovesick. I am not lovesick. I am starving. I want something to eat. I don't want anyone's love. Jean, wait, that's not all. When you have kissed her hand, you will say, Madam, I am sent by Mr. Gwalitor to fetch the pie. She will then give you a large eel pie. And so Jean says, after kissing her hand, you have to say that you are Mr. Gwalitor. You are sent by Mr. Gwalitor to fetch the eel pie, and she will give you the eel pie. Here, and the heavens will open. Roast fowl and nectarines will be seen to rain upon us from the clouds, and champagne will be heard gurgling in the gutters. Where did you learn this conjuring trick? So Jean is not ready to accept whatever he is saying. Pierre is not ready to accept whatever Jean is instructing to. He is thinking that whatever Jean is saying is just a fun, just a joke, just a trick. Very well, believe it or not, as you like. The point is, are you hungry or you not? So Jean makes a question there, that are you hungry or not? There, rubbing his waistline. Hungry, I have hollow in here that all the birds of the air could nest in. So my stomach is hollow, so that all the birds can make a nest in my stomach. Jean, then do as I tell you. If it doesn't come off, never trust me again, but it will. So whatever I have told you, you have to do it. Unless you do it, you can't fill your stomach today. So for this much enough for today. Next I'll continue in my next video. I'll complete it in 2 videos only. 2 or maximum 3 videos. So read it and watch the video 3 times. Thank you.